guys, it's Aidan here, and a couple of weeks ago I did a TikTok about how much of a cricket badger I am and how I put all my stats into an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet as I use. A lot of people seem to like it and commented on it, and I've had a couple of messages going, can you send me it, or can you at least show me how to do it? So that's what I'm going to do in this video. It's going to be quite a lengthy process because it's quite complicated. So if you don't feel like you can copy it or you don't have the time to do it, I will make a copy available which you can buy if you message me on Instagram, Twitter or TikTok at alights98. Just drop me a message and I'll make it available for £2 and you can pay me through PayPal, and £1 of that will go to a charity. I'll put that in the comments below and link it. So half that money will go to charity. It's, like I said, it's going to be quite a long video, so feel free to skip through bits. It will work in Google Sheets and Excel because there'll be formulas in there. But if you want to watch all the video, then by all means, I'll try my best to commentate through it, but you'll be able to see what I do on the screen as well. So let's get into it. First of all, you're obviously going to open up, so type into Google, get your Gmail account if you've got one. So you'll see up here, all you're going to do is click on those little square dots, and you're going to go down to Sheets and press on that, and that will take you to this page here. What you want to then do is click on blank because you're making a new spreadsheet. And it will come into this screen. The problem with Sheets is I think you need a internet connection to start it. You can't use it offline unless you start it and make it available offline. So that's where Excel might be a bit easier if you're used to that. So first of all, we're gonna give our spreadsheet a name. We'll just call it Cricket Statistics Template. So there we go. As you can see, it saves as we go along. Google Sheets will give you lots of like hints and suggestions of what to do, but every time you make a change, it will save up here and it will stay in that little first screen that we saw. So one thing that's going to help is if we lay it out all correctly. So if we have all the information laid out and the font and the colours all sorted before we put in our formulas, because the formulas are going to be the tricky part. So if you copy this exactly, we should be alright. It's a lengthy process, as I said, so it should be about 20 minutes, half an hour this video. But if you follow step by step, we shouldn't go wrong. So we're not going to start in the top left because we want our subheading to start here. Then our second heading is going to start in number 2, and then our actual data will start in the third row down, or actually the fourth row, because we're going to put our date in there first. So I started playing cricket in 2013. That's when I first started. So I'll pop that in as my first year as a guide. And then down here, I'm going to say a season that I play is about 18 games. So you might play 20 games in a season, maybe. Let's say 25, a couple of friendlies in there. So you're going to pop 1, 2, like that. And a thing in Excel and Google Sheets you can do is hopefully you should be able to drag this down. Let's go down to 30. That's not worked. Go back. 1, 2, 3. So this is the number of games we're doing. If you highlight it all and scroll all the way down, there we go. It fills in the numbers for you. We'll do 27 there. And we'll start with the 2013 season before we do anything. So our main heading, we're going to divide our statistics into information, which will be the date, where we played, who we played against, stuff like that. Then the matches section, which will be where we played, home and away, did we win, lose or draw, or if you're a captain. Then we'll go into batting, so obviously number, position you batted, runs, fours, how you're out, bowling, overs, balls, wickets, and then we'll finish with fielding as well. So catches, if you kept, run out, stumping, buys, all that. I'll create another couple of sheets at the end of the extra away from our statistics for like a career breakdown. We'll do that at the end. So if we put one title as info, and then we'll want to move this into kind of like a collapsible guide so it goes a bit smaller, so we're not all going down to like the 100 on the side. So date is next. It's up to you if you want to use capitals for your headings. I just like it because they'll stand out. So game there is game number, so first game, second game, third game, fourth game. It's up to you if you want to make that. So obviously we'll have 27 game, and then in this year, 2013, and then when we go into 2014, it will read 28 in game number. It's up to you which way you do that round. That's not going to have a formula in it. So then we'll have ground, country it's played in, county or province, it depends where you are. Obviously I'm in England, so it's going to be county, which would be Devon for me. Town or city, so for me that would be Torquay. Team, so this would be obviously your team, first team, second team, however you want to write it in. Versus, obviously who you played against. Format, so is it 20 over game, 45 overs, whatever, and then the competition. I'm going to pop in, and that's obviously that friendly, or the name of your league, or the cup competition you played in. So we want these little grids to almost go like this. You can either click on each one individually, and it smartens that up, or you can highlight them all, and then click it there, and that will do it there. So that just neatens it up a little bit. So this is our starting point. We've got some of the first information down. We've obviously got all set up nicely. We might want to change info maybe into, should we make that black with white writing so it stands out a little bit. And we'll do the same for 2013. And what we want is this data, or the titles here, so the date, the game, the ground, country, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to almost be like a collapsible grid, so you can obviously expand it, look at the information. If I only wanted to look at the batting, I'd be able to open that up and just look at the batting for 2013. So hopefully this goes the way I want it to. So you're going to highlight, we're going to make date to competition, we're going to group it into information here. So what you're going to do, you'll click off that. You're going to highlight those columns, so C to L. I'm going to go to data. You're going to press group columns C to L, and you can see that's made a little minus sign up here, and that's grouped it all into information, making sure the header that you want to group, so obviously info's in column B, don't include column B because that will make the little minus sign appear in A, and it'll get rid of information for you. You're going to do the same process for 2013. I'm actually going to make this 30 games because my OCD won't allow me to keep it at 27. Obviously, when you're filling in your information, you'll put in the exact number of games. So same process, you're going to highlight the information that you want to group into 2013, go to data, group rows 4 to 33. There we go, so now we can collapse that. You can see it goes A, B, M, because all that data's in the letters that we're missing, and the same thing, it goes 1, 2, 3, 34, all our information's in there. We can expand and collapse that. So what we're going to do is we're going to carry on filling in the headings that we want. So up next we've got matches. Again, you might want to make it a different colour so it stands out. We will work our way down this colours, so matches can be red background with white writing. Then we're going to have played. Played will be ones all the way down because that's going to be our first column with a formula in, and so that's going to add up how many you've played at a quick notice, and we're actually going to put the formula above it here. That's why we've left a bit of a gap. We've obviously put those headings in row 2 because we're going to put our formula here, which is going to add up how many games we've played. All the headings in info don't have a formula, so you're going to have to input that manually, I'm afraid. Next subheading is home. Obviously, if you played at home, you're going to put a 1 in there. Away and neutral. Then we're going to put in if you won, drawn, very rare in cricket, drawn or tied, depends what level of cricket you're playing at, and lost, and then our last column will be if you captained for the day. Again, follow that process of highlighting those. Obviously make them nice and tight so it looks a bit more organised. Highlight them again, go to data, group, perfect. Then I'm going to get into the actual stats. So as a batsman, I'm going to put batting first. I mean alphabetical, batting, bowling, fielding. Batting comes first anyway. We're going to give that a orange and black. So we're going to start off with number. So did you open the baton or are you a tail ender? Obviously most important, runs. Then number of balls, which can be quite difficult if the scorer doesn't do that. Ideally they score with play cricket, so you know exactly the number of balls you face, because that will help us out with our strike rate, which is next. So we've got to Z here on Google Sheets, which means we need to insert a column, which I assume was that said, yeah, it was. There you go, right click on that last grid. It's a bit annoying, I haven't worked out how to add multiple columns, because we're going to need quite a few here. So just go ahead and just spam that. I've never understood why it stops at Z when the numbers on the left go down to about 1,000. Why this doesn't go to 1,000 in letters or whatever, because this is quite a tedious process doing all this. If we go down to, should have worked out how many I needed to do, well that'll do for the time being. So strike rate, then we'll have 4s, 6s, out, not out, and then we'll have DNB, did not bat. You can change the order of these if you like to suit obviously how you want to read it. So you might have out, and then what I'm going to put in next is the ways that you're out, so you can see if you're being caught lows, LBWs, and you can refer to that and then go to trading and work on that. But I've gone out, not out, did not bat, and then we're going to go into the types of dismissal, so hopefully I don't miss any. So we'll start with the common ones, which are bold, caught, LBW, stumped, run out. So these are probably the main ones you're going to get. You might have hit wicket as well. These are getting into more strange types of dismissals that you're not going to see, especially the next one, obstructing field. If you're using this column, I'll be very impressed. Handled ball. Hopefully my spelling's alright. Did you hit it twice? See, look, need to add more columns already. I feel like I'm being an idiot not working out how to add loads here. That's probably a really easy way of doing it, but I won't try that now just because it'll take me too long. Right, so we'll go down to B. So hit twice and then timed out and retired. And then we'll finish off our batting with our 50 and 100. We haven't included average on here because that'll be on our career breakdown page, which we'll do. You can see at the bottom here it says sheet 1. We'll have sheet 2 and sheet 3, which I'll explain at the end. Again, we're going to do our process of neatening these up. So you're going to see, if you click here and then try and move, it will drag that. So you want to click off, hover your mouse here, don't click, click now, and then drag. So just the one click if you want to highlight all these. Highlight them all, double click on that blue line, and then we want to make it collapsible again. So click off it, click on. Go, data, that. There we go. Next up, we've got bowling. So we have orange, make that yellow. again, it depends what order you want your headings in. For me, I've done balls first, because that's going to work into our overs, and then I've gone wickets. A common problem in Excel and Google Sheets is obviously within cricket, an over is 0.6 balls. When you're doing your formula, I'll explain it a bit more in depth, but typing in 0.6, that's just above half. Obviously in Excel it obviously goes 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 1. Whereas what we want is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, and then 0.6 is 1 over. Obviously if I bowl a wide, it'll be 1.1 or 0.7. It's quite hard to get that to translate into Excel into a spreadsheet. So when I go into the formulas, I'll explain that a bit more and how you can kind of get around that, but it does ruin some of the other formulas for your like econ, your average and your strike rate. After wickets, I've gone for runs conceded. And within that, it's obviously going to include wides and no balls. And then I've got how you dismissed or how you got your wickets basically. So you might want to move this wicket column to here, maybe. It's up to you. It's just I've organised it like this just because I like to see my wickets first, because it's obviously when you're seeing cricket stats, you'll read it off as wickets 1, 4, however many runs. That's just the way I see it, but go ahead, move it around if you want. So obviously our dismissals that go down to a bowler are bold, LBW. Again, we've got to insert more columns. Hopefully by watching this you'll work out how many columns I've used if you want to make your own, and then you can go ahead and put these columns in before you start, because it is, like I said, a very tedious process. So we've got LBW, caught, stumped, and hit wicket. Those are the only dismissals I believe that go down to a bowler. And then we're going to have our important stats of our economy, spell that right, or you can shorten it to econ if you want. Then our bowling average, and then our bowling strike rate as well. Whoop. So that's everything I have for the bowling section. That. Again, going to neaten it up. See, look, I missed the little blue thing there. I'll do that again. See, I'm just on my laptop, so it's a little bit fiddly. And then again, highlight, data, group, perfect. And then our last one is going to be fielding. And I'm going to make that green. So fielding, we only need 5 for fielding. Why has that done that? There you go, right, click right. Oh, so what you don't want to do is fill it in first. Leave it blank, otherwise it's going to fill in loads of greens. There you go, even I didn't know that. Learn something new every day. There you go, we don't need anything after BM, so if you want to make this, you have to go up to VM. I'm just reading my note, making sure I've not missed anything out. No, it's alright, so you can crack on. When you start yours, go across to VM and obviously down to how many games you want to fill in. So fill in, we're going to make it green, like I said. Then we're going to put in keeping. So this will be obviously if you kept in the game. How many catches? You can either do that total or you can split to keeper catches and obviously fielding catches if you I've kept half of this season, but I'm going to keep all my catches the same. Then run outs, stumpings, and we'll finish off with buys. Obviously, like I said, if you want to change those around, order them differently, fill in other ones, it's the same process, you're just going to have extra columns down here. Again, data, group that, perfect. So this is what we'll see when we collapse these, break them down. Perfect, looks all nice and neat, look. And then if I just want to see my fielding stats, I'd open that up, and I can see it a bit easier. But we're just going to expand all these, and I'm just going to add in a 2014 season as well, just so I can show you how you can make multiple seasons. So as I said here, you can either go game 1 in 2014, 2, 3, take that down to whatever here, 60, that gives me 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. You can colour this in red, make it white. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make these coloured headings slightly bigger so they stand out a little bit more. So we'll make them, so it's anything like Word, you're just going to go in here, highlight it, we'll make it bold, we'll make it size 14, no, make it 12. And again, just go and resize. Your boxes. This is obviously going to make it a bit bigger. We just want the years to stand out a bit more when we expand it, because I found it quite hard to see that 2014, but it's just going to mean click off it, and that'll fit in the 2013 box. 2014, that, beautiful. Let's see how that looks when we collapse it all now. Do our batting as well. See, what's a good thing, I don't have to scroll all the way across with our collapsible columns. And just do this. Are you going to do it? There we go, that's bold. There we go. See, sometimes our Excel and our Google Sheets are a bit fidgety, and if you click on the wrong thing and try and do something, it just won't have it. So click off it. Yeah, if you're worried, just click off something, see where you're at, go to a blank cell, and go back into it. There we go. That's going to help us see our columns. We just need to group our 2014 games. So again, same process. Highlight, data, group. That's perfect. And there we go. That's what it looked like broken down. So obviously I started in 2013. So obviously those will collapse down to 2021, which is obviously the season just gone in England. And we can see all our stats that way. So now we're going to input some data as well. So I'm going to start off with our info here. So we might want to start with our date. I'm just going to make up some random numbers. I was going to put my own, but can't be bothered. So let's say our first ever game was on the 1st of May 2013. There we go. That's like that. You might want to check before you do your Google Sheet. I should have done this beforehand. If you go into File, Spreadsheet Settings, obviously because Google's American, they're going to have it set to US, so you want to change it to UK, and that should make things like the date and like pound signs and stuff. If you needed to use that, that's just a little tip on Google Sheets anyway. So just make sure you have it set to UK. So this will be game number 1. Where did we play? Lords. In England. I don't know what the county is for Lords, to be honest. I'll tell you what, we'll do my own ground. So mine's Walls Hill. It's in England. Devon. Town or city, it's in Torquay. I play for Barbican CC, and then you can either leave it like that, or you can put brackets, first XI, second XI, whatever. Who did we play against? We'll say we played against Barbican, second team. So you pop that in there. Again, you can see Barbican CC second XI is far too big for our column. So actually, we need to go here and do our usual thing, making sure the columns are wide enough here. Let's say we played them in a 20 over game. 20 overs. And let's say it's a friendly. Okay. So moving on to our matches. We're going to have played 1. It was obviously at home, so we'll put 1 in home, 0 in away, 0 in away. Neutral, sorry. Let's say we won it. Sorry, boys and twos. Drawn, lost. Let's say I wasn't captain. I opened the bat into number 1. Let's give us a nice 20. I don't know, 50 balls is like me. Obviously, you're not going to fill in strike rate yet because we're going to make a formula for that. That's going to help us out. Let's say I hit 2 4s, 1 6. I got out. So you obviously out's going to be ones, not out 0, 0 for DMB, left side got cleaned up. So all these other ones, if you know these are all going to be 0, you don't have to type in 0. So obviously from 0 to 50 and 100, you know it's going to be 0. So you can drag that all the way along and it'll fill in 0 for you. That'll speed up your process. So let's keep it nice and simple for our bowling. Let's say I bowled 12 balls. So that obviously constitutes 2 overs. I've got 1 wicket. Well, it was quite expensive, so we'll say 24. No wides, no balls. We got revenge from being cleaned up. We cleaned up someone else, probably Backy or someone. Again, I mean, I could have dragged that across. We'll leave our economy, average and strike rate because we're going to put a formula in there to help work that out for us. I didn't keep, but I got 1 catch. I didn't get a run out. I didn't get stumping, and I didn't get any buys. So we've got all our data that we need put in at the moment. Come on, back to the front. I told you it's fiddly. So we don't need any formulas in our information bit. So we can close that one down. We're actually going to we'll fill in all our information first. So just for the dates, you're obviously going to type in your own dates. I'm just going to drag that down. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's obviously done day by day there, I believe. Was it? Oh, so it's obviously American way of doing it. So maybe they put, yeah, they've got the month at the front. So that's where you're going to have to go into that format here, number, and then change the date. If you're a bit OCD and want to change that. So there we go. It's changed that round to 31, but you obviously want to select it. If you select the column, hopefully you should be able to go. You're going to have format, number, down to date. You can see it's got the day first, then the month, then the year. Hopefully that changes it around. Okay, so for some reason I'm playing cricket in January and February. Excellent. But anyway, for the process of this, that's the date. That's how you can change it around and then type in numbers. Obviously, day first, month, year. Obviously, our first year is obviously game number 1, game number 2. That's obviously going to be the same as our A column, so that's all going to match up. But then when we get down to 2014, our first game of 2014 is not going to be 1 here, it's going to be 31, because that's our 31st game in our career. So 32, 33, track that down. So obviously if we played 30 games, we'll be 60 by 2014. Get our date in, playing in January again, 2014. Hopefully, if I drag this down, should recognise. There we go. So we played a game every day in January in 2014. I want to play Babacom's second team every week. Wonder what happened to the overs. There we go, we're playing 49 over games, but we're just filling in our thing here. What we don't want to do is drag it through that 2014 row here, because we're going to save that for something else. So this is where it gets a little bit tedious. You've got to make sure you're filling it in the right columns, right spaces. Fill that in. Obviously here I'm not doing anything too bad. Friendly. That's spelled wrong. If you want to skip this bit, feel free. I'm just filling in our data, so it obviously helps us. Okay, so that's all our information in. Doesn't really need, you don't need any formulas here really, so just break that down. There we go, leave that open so we can see what columns we got. Played column is always going to be 1, so every time you've played, it's always going to be 1. Same for 2014, always going to be 1. That means that now we can add in our formula up here, which is going to calculate how many games we've played, just so we can use it as a quick glance. So you're going to put sum equals sum, open brackets. Oh, that's my touchpad on my keyboard going mental. So we know it starts at N4. Down to it. Actually, you're not going to do that. This is why it's a bit confusing. You're actually going to go into this column first, because you're going to add up how many you've played in that season. So we're going to add up how many you've played in 2013, so equals sum N4 down to whatever it is, N33. And you'll see it's highlighting it there in green, so you know which ones you've done. Close that bracket. There we go, I've played 30 games there. Again, to make it stand out, you might want to go and fill that in red, make it white. It's up to you. Maybe make it a bit bold so it stands out. And then you're going to do the same thing for the 2014. So in our row, equals sum, open brackets. So it gives you a nice idea of what you want to do, how you want to fill in the equation. Or you can fill it in like I've done. So you can either do it, type it in like I did on 2013, or you can click here. So click N35, drag all the way down to N64, close your bracket, press enter. Find that, make sure it stands out, because you're just going to have loads of numbers otherwise. It's going to be quite hard to see. And pick out when you've got it all expanded like this. Make it bold. Now by breaking it down into seasons, that means we can just go at the top, which is going to be our overall. So equals sum, open brackets, click on that one. And actually, don't press colon there. you're going to make it a comma, click on that one, close the brackets. So that's our difference between this one and that one. The formula has a colon because you're just adding up the seasons, whereas this is adding up every game in 2013, so you need to put a colon because it's doing, obviously, without a gap basically here. If we put a colon down to N33, or N34, sorry, it would actually make it 90 because it's adding up that and all the 2013 games and then the 30 from 2014. So you can see there it's highlighted with a little dash. That's what it's calculating. So actually you want to do a comma, and it's just highlighted that one, and it will have highlighted the 30 down here. It should have done. There we go. Highlight it there. That one's done. Again, you can either highlight it, make it bold, whatever you want to make it stand out. I'll just make it bold so it's a little bit different from our matches. You're going to do exactly the same process for this matches section. So it might be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. Bit boring. Then we had a couple of neutrals. That's it. Fill that all in. Add some, add some away games in, you idiot. As I said, it's quite a long video this because I'm an absolute badger. So if you want to skip along to bits, feel free. So it's all about your setup, putting your data in, because that's going to help us when we get to the formulas. You can put the formulas in first if you want. It's just, obviously, if there's nothing in there, it's going to be a bit annoying, because it'll probably give you an error message. So fill that all in. Let's say we didn't lose any games, and I wasn't captain for any. Okay, 2014 we had an unreal spell of winning every game at home. So you can drag that across, drag that down. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more interesting when you're putting in your stats, and you can see, obviously, all your scores adding up. This is just lots of ones and zeros at the moment. I'll jazz it up a little bit at the end of the video, just so it stands out. But I want to get through the formulas first, because that's obviously a quite important part, and then you can go and make it look cooler at the end. So this one, it's captain every season. So again, same process for our played one. You're going to add up everything in the season first. This is when it's quite easy because you know, look, it's given us some hints here. Press enter because you know it goes down to that one. And because they're just ones and zeros, it's nice binary. And we're just adding up. Hopefully we can drag that across. And it should fill in. There we go. Fill in our formula. Just for the 2013 season. If we want to, hopefully this works. Click on that box. Go up to here to this paint format tool. Drag that across. And then it makes it all the same colour as well. Same with 2014. Drag that across. There we go. So it's done column O. Excellent. Column P. Excellent. So that, you might want to just check that, make sure it gets it right. And hopefully this all works. There we go. Perfect. That's worked as well. So there we go. When we open this up, we've got a quick glance at our career stats at the top. And then we can close this. And it gives us our season breakdowns as well. So we can see 2013 played 30 games, 9 at home, 7 away, 14. That doesn't add up, does it? Oh well. And then obviously 14 won, 31, and then overall 44, 60. There we go. So we can collapse that one, open this back up. So we can fill in our next one. So this first column is not going to have a format equation in it because it's just opening the batting. That doesn't add up. So make this nice and simple. I opened every game I played, batting at number 1. So I'm just going to go 1 to 11. And that one, don't need to do anything. Runs. We'll get steadily better every game. Oh, that's not worked. We're adding a 50, 52, 53. I'm having an unbelievable season in 2014. Very consistent scoring 20 every game. So type in the balls. That's wrong. Now I can't add up. Don't know why that's gone over there. Press the wrong button. There you go. I told you it's a very, very long process, but if you like me and you're a badger, it's fun putting in all these stats. So there we go. Make sure you're leaving that gap between seasons. 80, 81, 82, 83. Go. Excellent. So leave that strike rate column because we're going to put in a format to add that up. Obviously this isn't going to add up properly, but I'm just putting in numbers so it all adds up. Oh, so we can see how the formulas are working. I think it's a bit boring when it says 1 and 0. There we go. So you can add in your, we'll just have 3 sixes every game in 2013. 1, 2, 3. So obviously 4s and 6s. You're just going to type in how many you've got every game. But then outs, not outs, and everything else here is going to be binary. So it's going to be 1s and 0s. So we'll do out, 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 out. couple of red inkers, quite a few to finish the season. See, this is where the binary helps. I'll show you that in a minute when we put our formulas. So a couple of red inkers there. DMBs, you can have any of those. 2014 will be out every game. Okay, will be fill in how you're out. So we'll be out, and we'll be bold, and we'll be caught. Again, you're going to put in your binary numbers, so ones and zeros. 2013, we'll mix it up between bold and caught. There you go. I'm wary this is taking quite a while, so I'm just trying to speed it up by just putting in random numbers, but it's just going to help you see how the formulas are working and everything like that. So bold and caught, everything else can be 0. So that's alright. That's all 0. So no retired, no 50s or 100s in that one. We got 50 every time there though. Zero in here, so that's just going to fill it up. Perfect. Right then, on to our formulas. So, we're obviously missing our strike rate. So, the way you calculate strike rate is number of runs times that by 100 and then divide it by the number of balls. So, what you need to do is equal sign. You are going to make a bracket here, select your runs, then you're going to put an asterisk, which is times in Excel and formulas. So that's, for me, that's shift 8. Looks like a little star. Then you're just going to type in 100. You're going to close that bracket. Then you're going to press the little slash here, which is going to divide. And then you're going to click number of balls. Hopefully this works. So we should get 40. Excellent. Hopefully we can drag this down, and it should calculate our strike rate in every game. I'm hoping. Perfect. Again, do the same thing here for 2014. So it's runs times 100 divided by number of balls. And you can drag that down. Now, you're not going to go straight into doing that for the season, because you want to make sure you add up all your runs first. So we know that's column W4 down there. That's perfect. We're going to make that orange to match our theme. We can drag that across here. And there we go, we scored 2,000 runs. And now we can put in our strike rate. So runs, opening bracket first, runs times 100, close, divided by number of balls. Excellent. And now we can go along our sum. That's right. Change that here. Actually, make it bold, aren't we? Perfect. Again, we can drag that across. And we can see that there. Obviously, this one don't format paint it across because it will change the format, so you're just going to have to change this on your own, which isn't so bad. You can then go down to 2014, do the same thing. This is where Google Sheets should help us out. No, it's not going to. I can't remember what the number is down the bottom. There we go. Oops. What's happened there? See, it's left me an error there because I haven't completed the equation. I should really remember what it is, but it's late. It is W64. Again, go across, drag it across. You can drag all the way across here, and then you can just change this one. Runs times 100 divided by number of balls. And again, you're just going to sum it up here. Sum that, comma, that. Get it right. This one's not been dragged all the way across, has it? You're going to drag this one. You want to check it. There you go, that's done alright. And then make sure you change the strike rate one. So it's like the season one. You're going to get your number of runs, bracket, sorry, number of your total runs times 100, close your bracket, divided by your total number of balls. And that will give you a career strike rate of 62. And you can see how that compares between 2013 and 2014. So you're somewhere in the middle there. So there we go. That one's our batting done. So moving on to bowling, I think it's a little bit more complex than the batting one because obviously you've got to remember. So I'll do an example of, say I bowled 14 balls. Here, we'd obviously put that is 2.2 overs, isn't it? Because there's 6 legal balls in an over. So you'd think you'd put in something like that. That doesn't work. For us, that is a third of an over. But here it's obviously 0.2. What's that? 2/10 or whatever. So that's not going to work out for us. So we either need to leave balls as they are and accept that we're just going to say it was 2 legal overs. We're going to leave it like that. You can, it is a very complex formula, so I'm going to see if I've got it right. Right, so you're going to put equal trunk. This is going to help us, or help the spreadsheet see 14 as 2.2 overs. So it's effectively going to make 1 and 0.6 the same. But that means we can't use a formula to calculate our economy, our average, and our strike rate, just because the math just doesn't work out. So you're either going to leave it like this and get your overs right, or you're going to leave it the way I did before and just accept defeat and just call it 2 overs. So to get it reading 0.6 as 1, equal trunk, then open bracket, and then you're going to have click number of balls, divide 6, 0. If this works, I'll be amazed. Close your brackets. Plus mod that's going to have, I want number of balls again, please. I can just type that in as 85. Comma 6, close bracket, and then you're going to divide that by 10. If this works, it's going to be a miracle. There we go, and it appears as 2.2. I can change that, so 6 becomes 1, what's 7? 1.1, 8, 1.2, 9, excellent, 10, 11, 12, should appear as 2. Perfect, there we go. I might leave that and see if it actually does work for the economy. It might screw it up, but we'll see. 5, we'll just do 0, 0, 0 in there. Runs 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I tell you what, we'll just do 18, 19, 20. So if we drag that, there we go. So we just drag that formula like we've done on other ones. So we've got no wides in there, no balls, nothing, nothing. Let's say we had 1 wide. In there. That's not right, is it? See, there we go, I've worked into a problem, because you could have bowled 19 balls, which is obviously appearing as 3.1 overs, but let's say you bowled a wide in there, it would only be 3. So you might want to change that normally, but this is where this confusing formula comes in. Obviously 3 and 3 can be the same, but you've changed the number of balls here, because I've bowled a wide. 3.2 here doesn't mean you've bowled 2 extra wides, it could just mean you've bowled 3.2 overs and the game's finished because you've taken a fifer. But we'll work through this one together and we'll see where we come up. So we'll put a wide in there and we'll change that to 2 overs. Here we'll just make it 1. Every wicket we've ever got has been bowled. Excellent stuff. 2, 4, 5, 0, 1. Bowling is definitely the most confusing Formula 1 to use. I'll show you why well, you've seen already why. Because of that trunk one. Trying to get the right balls registering. Everything else, we just say we won't ever bowl again because this video is taking far too long. There we go. Turned into a batter in 2014. Obviously, remember, I haven't put the trunk formula in here. But it doesn't really matter because I haven't bowled. So make sure, so you can add up your balls at the top here. There we go, it's given me a nice one. I've just pressed tab there and it's done it for me. Sum 80 down to there. Overs, we're just going to leave that a second. I'm going to work out what we're doing. Give, yeah. So press your tab. Now add it up. There we go. Make it your colours, whatever you want there, but just to save time, I'm just going to drag that across and add those up. So I can either do a sum here, drag that across into overs, and that will add up here. So 2, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 18. See, it's reading 8.6, which isn't helpful. Now it's reading 19.2. That's where the trunk comes in, and it's wrong. We'll leave that for a moment, and we'll come back to it, because we want to add up our, show you the formula for economy, average, and strike rate. So economy is runs divided by overs. So it's very much like the strike rate we do with batting. You can open your brackets if you want. Doesn't really do anything. So runs divide, so you can get your slash it out, divide it by the overs, and do it that way. You can then drag that down. Remember, you've got that trunk in there, so we might change it in a minute. Okay, so it's coming up with our hashtag div divided by 1, which is obviously an error because we can't divide by 0. So what we need to do in this formula here is put if error that one. If you struggle, because I'm not good at using this particular formula, you can click that and it will tell you exactly what you need to do. So we know it's runs divided by overs. So there, divide by overs, comma. So this will change all those div slash zeros. We're just going to want them to read as 0. So you put in your formula. So it won't affect the 4.3 here, 4.6. It will just tell me if this formula doesn't work. So 0 divided by 0 is going to make that read 0, hopefully. So end up with a bracket. So it's still reading 12 there. We're going to drag that formula down. And there we go, it reads 0. And these still read our exact economies here. Average, our bowling average, is runs divided by wickets. So if we know that, we can put if error, open brackets, runs divided by wickets, runs slash wickets, comma, 0, close brackets, drag that all the way down. And then strike rate is balls divided by wickets. If error, open your bracket, which is done for us. What did I say? Balls divided by wickets. So that one, divided by wickets, comma, 0, close your brackets. Strike rate, drag that all the way down. So this is looking pretty good. We've just got to work it out. Obviously, econ average strike rate's a bit confusing. Obviously, we've used that trunk formula, so we want to make sure it all works out. So here, economy is obviously runs per over we concede. So I bowled 2 overs here, it's 24. So obviously 24 divided by 2 is 12. Average is how many runs per wicket we concede. So yeah, so for every 1 wicket we conceded 24 runs, that's correct. And strike rate is how many runs we concede per wicket. Is that right? I feel like that should be 24. That's why. Sorry, it is how many how many balls it takes us to take a wicket. So that is right. It's very late. I'm very confused now, but yeah, I've got that wrong. Sorry. So strike rate is how many balls it takes us to take a wicket. So obviously it's taken us 12 balls to take 1 wicket. If we get 2 wickets, that obviously means it took us 6 effectively. Right, let's just work out. So these are obviously all nice numbers here. We've got overs 3.2. This is where it's really testing my maths now. Let's make this bear with me a second while I go and get a calculator. There we go. It's far too late to be doing this kind of maths. So here we've got our long formula making 20 balls seem like 3.2 overs. That's right. So we've got econ is how many runs we concede per over. So that's 15 divided by 3.2 makes 4.6. That's right. Average is runs per wicket. So that's right. Strike rate is balls per wicket. Yeah, and that's correct. But here we took away that formula, so 13 balls with a wide in there. So our econ runs per over, so we had 5 runs divided by 2, it's obviously 2.5, that's right. Balls per wicket, that's the one we want to look at. So that one's correct here. Change that at 6.5, so that seems to be all working. It is just now this one we need to work out. Because it's obviously going to make, it's going to add up overs overall, is going to make it, in this mind, that's obviously 2, 4, 7, 10. That adds up to 7 overs, because 3.2 plus 3.4 is 7, so that's going to make 19. That's made 19.2, that's wrong. So here you're just going to type in your overs, you're going to have to manually add that up. I hope that's 19, I hope that's correct. Oh dear. So again here, you're going to add that up, drag these formulas up. This is taking a while, just so I can make sure I've got it right for you guys. So if we want to add it all up, our econ, again, runs per over, so 99 runs divided by 19, 5.21, that's correct. Average runs divided by wickets, 99 divided by 14, perfect, 7.70. I'm using a calculator here just to check, just so it's right. Strike rate is balls divided by wickets, so 116 divided by 14 is 8.287. Yeah, so that's all right. So bowling, I've learned this out as well. You can either use this trunk one, so it's going to make 0.6 seem like 1. You can carry this all the way down until you get to a game where you've bowled a wide, then you're going to manually change it to just 2 overs, and that doesn't affect it. But then here, you want to make sure that the trunk formula isn't, you're just going to have to add these up yourself. Okay, get rid of that. Again, the top one for the, we know this is 0 here, because we didn't bowl in 2014, just to save a bit of time. That up. You're obviously going to go here, equals sum, there we go, it's remembered, overs, again, put in your thing, but we know that's how they will add up. Go across here. This one you can either put in your formula again, so your econ, you're going to pop in your runs divided by your overs there. Don't add it up. Whatever you do, don't add it up. You're going to put equals, and you're going to take your run section from the top divided by your overs section from the top, which is obviously your whole career stats, and that add up. So obviously if that changes 7 or whatever, sorry, that's wrong. So obviously if this changes in here, so what was that, runs 25, that'll change automatically up there. So you're going to do the same. So average runs from the top, oops, runs divided by wickets from the top, perfect, equals strike rate, balls, divided by wickets, perfect. And then fielding's nice and easy. It's that binary code again, so you're only filling in ones and zeros. I'm just going to put these as zeros just for the time being, so we rattle through this a bit quicker. Again, sorry, not the top one. In your 2013, do your season ones first. Sum it here, drag that across. So catches is 1, 0, 0. Close down 2013. That's 0. Perfect. So again here, you're going to put sum, open brackets, that 2013 and 2014. And you're going to carry that along, so that's your season breakdown as well. So if we close all these down, this is all collapsed. We can go along here and we can see, open up our info, and we can see a snapshot of our 2013 and 2014 season breakdowns. Here we go, it will show us our career ones at the top as well. So that's where, obviously, highlighting it, you can see the difference between if it's coloured and if it's not. It just stands out a bit more, especially when you open and look at individual ones like that. Obviously makes it a bit more clear. So we can also do, you might not want ones and zeros to be all the same colour. I'll do it in runs because that's quite important, I think, for a batter. It's called conditional formatting, so you want to select the whole column, format, conditional formatting. There we go, so it says apply to range x1 to x1000, so that goes from x1 to x1000. It's going to make sure this rule applies. We're going to put, if it is less than or equal to 25, so this is how I break down my scores, actually 24, sorry. We're going to want it to fill in the column, because I believe as a batter, if you get 24 or less, that's not good enough. Okay, so that's going to be red. Add another rule. Then we're going to put is between 25 and 49, because that's the next stage. So if I'm getting 25 to 49, I've done okay. We're going to put that orange or amber. And then the last one, if it is greater than or equal to 50, you've had a great day out. Change that to green. Okay, and so we might not want the season ones and our career ones. So all we've got to do here is change the range to X4 so it starts in our season stats. Did that work? There we go. So we want that to be X4 to start. There we go, it's changed it back. So what that'll do is when we put in here, 20 is obviously bad, 25 is medium, it'll change the colour, and 50 is good, and that'll change as well. So we can do that with anyone. So if we say we want to play at home, you can select that, change the range to N4, that's where it starts. We can either put is empty, is not empty, text contains. We'll just put greater than or equal to 1. We'll say we want that to be green because we're playing at home, and that's good. Oh, wow, that's changed the text colour. That's not nice. There we go. So we've changed that up here green, and we can do that for every one. We can make it blue, change the colours so it's a bit more colourful, stands out. So that's conditional formatting. We do that for anything. We can read through, change the rules. But what I did say is down here, we want to change the sheets. So if you double click on here, you can change the name. You can change that to stats. Maybe you want easier career breakdown. So career here, we're going to keep it in the same sheet, a new sheet with the same document. So here we're going to have matches, played, won, drawn, lost, batting, is that next? Whoops. Innings, runs, your top score, which you're going to put in manually, 4s, 6s, your strike rate, your average, which we'll calculate in a minute, 50s and 100s, bowling, wickets, strike rate, economy, spelling's going out the window, your best figures, which you'll type in manually as well, figures, fielding, catches, run-outs, stumpings. So obviously our played one, we know we've got that in our stats here. So what we can do is put our equals, go over to here, select that, and there we go. It takes it straight from the other sheet. So 1, easy. So every one that you've got here, you can take over. The only couple you can't do that for is your top score, which is just going to, you should know your top score. I think it's down here, we'll just say, oh, it's 80. Your strike rate you can take. Your average is obviously your runs divided by how many times you got out. So go to batting, the season runs divided by your outs. That's why we have outs, knockouts, DMBs. So we can go runs divided by how many times you're out. I have a career average of 135. Excellent. And other one, you got to fill in your figures. So you go in, you know your own figures as well. So here you go. Oh, there we go. 5 for 15. You're going to manually type that in. Every other one you can take from your first sheet. Again, change it, colours, order, whatever you like. And then I like to have career info as well. So you might have your career history. So you'll put your date, so on the 1st of the 1st, 2013, I made my debut. Then you might have club history. Okay, so 2013 to present, I played for Babacom. And then you might have achievements as well. So, if I spell that right. So you might have titles, cups, promotions, relegations. You can put whatever you like in here. Individual ones, you can fill that in, make it colourful. But hopefully, guys, that is everything you kind of need to set up your own stats spreadsheet. So if you're a cricket badger like me, you can put all your stats in. What I'm going to do now, you can either watch this full video. I know it's really long, I didn't expect it to be this long, but there's so much information. You should have it all there. You can work it out, or you can ask me questions if you message me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's at alights98. Or you can message me and say, I'll complete this one properly and I'll send it to you. If you message me, I tell you what we want to do is I'm going to download this. So I'll finish this off. I'll download it as an Excel. So you send me a message. If, like I said, it's going to be £2. £1 will go to charity. I'll put that in the comments. Once you've paid that, I will email it to you. So stats. So you'll get an email, obviously a nice little message or whatever. I'll send it to you as an attachment. You'll get your email. It will read like this if you've got a Gmail. You can either open it with Sheets, or you can download it. So this one's given me an option to open with Excel. So if you've got Excel on your computer, it should open up. Here we go. So this is opened up in Excel for me. Enable editing. Here we go. Has all my information in it. I should be able to change things in here. Perfect. It all changes. Or like I said, you can save that. an actual personal copy, or you can open it with sheets, hopefully. What I didn't want to do is share it, because then that means I can see it, and I couldn't find a good way of sharing it, basically. So if you have sheet, obviously this is on my account anyway, so it's already there. But you'll get the email. If you want to spend your time, you can see this has taken me a good hour and a half, 2 hours to try and make one from scratch. I obviously knew what I was doing, so for you guys it might be quicker just to message me. £2, £1 goes to a good cause. If you could follow me, like and follow my videos, that would be great. Subscribe to this channel. I've also started a new cricket brand called AJL Cricket. If you can go and follow that, that'd be great. Hopefully by next season we'll have some kit to sell, but at the moment we're just creating content videos around cricket, so coaching guides, training videos, reviews, ratings, so please go and check that out. I know this was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Hopefully you've stuck around for it, but cheers guys for listening to me. I know it's been late and I rambled on a little bit, but I think it's important to see how it all works, because it does get quite confusing. But any questions you need to ask about it, please just drop a comment or whatever. But thank you guys for listening, and go well.